It's embarrassing to be a liberal now. When you say you're a liberal, I immediately think you have colorful hair, you work at a coffee shop, I think you're kind of a loser, you have like mental disorders you gave yourself.
Hey guys, welcome back to another one. Another Liberals for Ukraine video. We're on the third one. I didn't think we were going to do more than one, and here we are on the third one. I was hunting down clips today, and I'm still just coming across a bunch of content that relates to these type of videos. So we're going to push out one more. I want to put these clips to good use while they're still relevant. Reason being, I feel like it's still, it's the beginning of the week. I feel like something's going to happen this week. I don't mean like a bad thing, but I just feel like something that's going to shift the news cycle right off of this onto something else. Something in my gut just tells me something else is coming this week. So, without further ado, let's get into it.
At this rate, we're going to be literally standing shoulder to shoulder in the same situation in Canada as Ukraine is when a much larger superpower decides that they want to take over our country. We will be standing shoulder to shoulder in the same boots as the Ukrainians. And people who think that isn't so, they're wrong. They're wrong. We are on the same trajectory. The United States is just laying down the groundwork, threatening multiple sovereign countries with the same outcome. And if you listen to what he's bargaining for in his art of this deal, he is looking at their minerals. Canada, we're looking at you. What do we have that the states might want?
But to be very clear, if you're going to defend a fucking dictator taking over and invading a goddamn country, you're on the wrong side of history yet again. Fucking maggots. I wish they would disappear from the fucking world.
That it took the Nazi Party 1 month, 2 days, and 8 hours to cripple a constitutional republic. If you think it's not happening right before our eyes, you're fucking mistaken.
If you're a Trump supporter, just know that there are 4 things that everybody who's not a Trump supporter thinks about you. And so far, you've done nothing to disprove these things. 1, you're uneducated. And I don't mean uneducated in the sense that you didn't go to school and learn to read or do basic arithmetic. I mean, you're uneducated as far as what's going on in the world. You got goggles on, only paying attention to what you want to pay attention to. Dose, you lack empathy. You don't care what happens to somebody else as long as it doesn't happen to you. Imagine for a moment the government started saying, hey, your marriage is illegal. How would you feel about that? How would you feel about that? But you don't care that it's happening to gay people as long as it doesn't happen to you. 3, you lack independent thinking skills, meaning you are incapable of forming your own thoughts, opinions, or viewpoints on things. You need pundit talking points from Fox News or whatever, that other OAN. You need those people to tell you what to believe. You don't have the ability to look into those claims and maybe think something else. It's a confirmation bias. You live in this bubble and you refuse to step outside of it. 4, and I think this is the most important one. I think this is the one you really need to work on if you have the ability, and that is critical thinking. Critical thinking is the ability to look at a situation and say to yourself, you know what, that's kind of fucked up. That's not right, and you can't do that.
All right, so this guy with his 4 points here. This clip surfaced right around the same time as the Zelenskyy Oval Office meeting, so I'm not sure if this was his intent when he made the video, if it's related or not, but it is something that I've seen floating online for the past couple days. I've been kind of ignoring it, and I just, his 4 points are bothering me, so we got to get to those. Stating that MAGA supporters are uneducated. They don't mean education-wise. They just mean that we're not smart overall. We don't really see what's going on in the world. I find with his 4 points, he's literally describing a leftist. I don't see, it's total projection. I don't see how he can't say, holy shit, I'm talking about myself. I don't see how that's going over his head. I believe we have a much clearer vision of what's going on in the world than a delusional leftist. His second point, where he's going on about empathy. Now, yes, liberals are very big on empathy. As I stated in yesterday's video, I believe that it's very artificial. They just have this energy to just appear like you're an empathetic person as long as you don't have to lift a finger. His third point, independent thinking skills. How can he not realize that he's talking about himself? It's clearly obvious that the left, liberals, rely on talking points from news stations. They live. Research to them is Rachel Maddow. MSNBC, CNN, the first page of results off Google. That's research to them. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of these guys are highly educated, but that's also a bit of the problem. They're indoctrinated. They truly believe that everything that they've learned growing up is the absolute, no question about it, truth. And they completely trust the mainstream media. Now, I agree with him on the fourth one. I think it is the most important one. And I think it's actually that side of the aisle that actually needs to work on it. Because when he's talking about critical thinking, that's what we call common sense. And we're actually known to have common sense. And the left is known to have absolutely no common sense. Why would you want to leave your border wide open? How on earth can you think a man can get pregnant? How come we got to call breastfeeding chest feeding? How come a mother's got to be called a birthing person? That's critical thinking?
If you're waiting for a sign or something, this is the sign. Just do it. Just do it. Somebody just do it. You know what I'm talking about. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you're on the wrong side of TikTok. But just do it. Somebody out there. You will feel so much better. We will all feel so much better. We will all be so thankful. It would help so many people. It would stop so many things. Just do it. We would be forever grateful.
How long is this going to take?
Another thing is, like, what do you guys think you're going to do the day that it happens? Like, I feel like we're kind of in a waiting game right now. Like, everyone's a little bit holding their breath. They're, like, waiting to see how this kind of plays out. But what do you think you're going to do the day that it finally happens? I know that I'm for sure calling the fuck off work. Calling my mom. Getting drinks with my friends. I'm trying to think what else. Probably will stimulate the economy and go shopping, buy myself whatever I want, like jumping around, singing, crying in the streets, like calling, texting everyone for real. But like, how do you think you're going to celebrate this?
His family will be better off. His children, his wives, the country, every human being he comes into contact with will be better off when he is dead. That is how you know you have failed as a human being, when the world will be better off when you leave this earth. I don't know how Donald Trump is going to leave this earth. I'm assuming it's going to be a heart attack or a stroke or some combination of both. All I know is that when he dies, that man is going to have to confront himself at the time of death. We all do. We all die alone. We all have to confront the reality that we created during the and while we pass through the bardo of dying. And Trump, my God, you've got a lot of shit that you're going to have to be held accountable for.
It's sad that we're at the point where someone can come up here and say, somebody should do it. And we all know what the it is and who to. So just so we're clear, it ain't gonna be me. Don't y'all look at me to do anything. Matter of fact, none of us should be even contemplating it. If anyone's gonna do it, it's one of y'all. Y'all can get this done in a day, if need be. Maybe this week, soon, because I know the one that wants to do it has already thought about it. They're just waiting for our permission. You have mine. Do it. And don't worry, the whole world will be watching, and the whole world will see you as a hero. The whole world will see you as a hero. Stay hopeful. Trust your gut. And also know you're not crazy.
Okay, so since the meeting in the Oval Office last Friday, videos like this are surfacing even more. I've seen them around here and there. You guys will even see I've squeaked them in videos here and there. But the past few days, they're popping up more and more and more, and that's a dangerous thing. These people are getting a little bit too comfortable, pretty much while just asking for the assassination of a world leader. Yeah, they're trying to keep their words clean, but not actually saying what they're saying. But just as he said, we all know what they mean, and we all know who they're talking about. Now, the problem is with this, and I've touched on this in the past, is somebody out there is going to think that they can be a hero. They can save the country. And if anybody out there has that type of thought, get it out of your mind. It's not going to end well for anybody if something like that happened. At this point, the movement that's going on in the government of the United States, the whole MAGA movement, which, you know, the left considers as a cult, and it's far from a cult. It's a whole different movement. It's actually quite refreshing. This movement is bigger than one man now. So to make it absolutely clear, not only would the removal of Donald Trump cause drastic civil unrest that side would not be on the winning end of. At this point in time, it wouldn't change a thing. It's like a snowball going down a hill that's turning into a boulder. It's already begun. So removing who you guys look at as the cult leader wouldn't change a thing. The movement is still going to go forward. This is what America voted for. You guys got to keep in mind, all the people out there that are complaining and thinking, you know, danger to democracy and it's the end of the world in the United States and all the rest of it, that is the minority. That's the minority. The movement is still happening. Like, really just look at the ripple effect of what it would cause if that situation were to have happened. Yes, as I just stated, civil unrest. What would civil unrest mean with the government? Martial law. How would martial law turn out for the general public? Not well. We'd be talking about an ugly third world country all of a sudden. That is not the answer. The answer is, to the people on the left that are unhappy, is get your politicking going. Get it going better. Fix that Democrat Party. Get them off of this wild ideology that they're on and reform that party so they can actually legitimately win back the White House in the future when they earn it and deserve it.
Loneliness epidemic found me, and they don't like that I called Zelenskyy a strong, big, powerful man, while I called Trump a small, weak, pathetic man.
I might be a dumb bitch, but at least I'll never be a dumb bitch who voted for Donald Trump.
They are bullies. And what did Trump say about bullies? Bullies are not smart. People should not be in power that are bullies. President Zelenskyy, I apologize to all of the people in the Ukraine and to you for the despicable way that you would talk down to. You are a man of the people. I stand with Ukraine.
Serious question for the Americans. Do you guys realize that the rest of the world is viewing your situation as the exact same to the build-up of World War II, except you guys are Germany?
They brought Zelenskyy into the Oval Office and fucking attacked him. And fuck you people who are celebrating that. Fuck you. Every one of you.
So I'm calling all active duty service members and veterans for this. When I joined the service, I swore an oath to the Constitution to protect this country and that document from enemies foreign and domestic. And right now, our enemy is domestic. I don't care how you do it. Stitch this, duet it, does not matter. We need to let these maggots know that we, veterans and active duty service members, do not support this, and the military is not under Trump's control. What happened was a disgrace to this country, and I want the maggots to know where I stand, because I will defend this Constitution. As a veteran, I recognize no dictator or king, and we need to let these maggots know.
Now, this guy's pretty unhinged. This clip has been going around on X a little bit. I went to his TikTok page, and he's got quite a few clips like this, but I find that this is the one that actually really shows how unhinged he is, and he's really trying to gather together like a revolutionary movement. And again, that's something that can get pretty dangerous, something like we were talking about in the last segment. Not only are these liberals a little bit unhinged, they're also quite hypocritical, because how come it was such a big issue when Donald Trump was talking about the enemy within? Now it's okay for the liberals to be walking around talking this way. Oh yeah, foreign and domestic, and now the enemy is domestic. We took an oath of the Constitution. The military's got to stand up and fight up against Donald Trump. Thankfully, the majority of Americans are not completely infected with TDS. Little does this guy know, with his what appears to be on the hinge of insanity, is that majority of the military, law enforcement, are on Donald Trump's side. And I don't just mean because he's the president. They wanted him to win the presidency. The way how he ends off there is what I found a little bit disturbing, is that I have to let these maggots know where I stand and I will defend the Constitution. This, again, kind of goes back to the segment just before this one. This is one of those people that, in his mind, would think he's being a hero by removing the president.
Dear beautiful people of other countries, that show you saw at the Oval Office between Donald Trump and J.D. Vance attacking the president of Ukraine, that's not who we are. We're better than that. Sorry you had to see that.
Arrest Donald Trump and J.D. Vance for treason. I said what I said. Arrest Donald Trump and J.D. Vance for treason.
I can't believe I have to say this. Russia invaded Ukraine. Vladimir Putin is a dictator who wants the West to fail. And that charade meeting that J.D. Vance and Donald Trump held in the Oval Office today, with Russian state media invited, was wrong. It was disgusting. It was shameful. It made them look small, and it makes America and the world less safe.
Oh, so you're not just dumb. You're also loud. That's really annoying. Please go back to whatever basement you crawled out of. You fucking idiot.
He did not humiliate Zelenskyy. He did not humiliate Ukraine. He humiliated the United States of America.
What the hell was that? What in the world did I just watch? Is that what America is now? Is that what you want?
The man that Trump chose to be our Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, has just ordered U.S. Cyber Command to stand down on all offensive cyber operations and information operations against Russia. We just had this despicable, disgusting meeting the other day in the Oval Office between Trump and Zelenskyy, where Trump and J.D. Vance cornered Zelenskyy and berated him, asking him stupid questions like, have you said thank you and why aren't you wearing a suit? Somehow, an unapproved Russian state media got into the Oval Office and was capturing all of that while it was happening. And now, Republicans are refusing to say that Russia invaded Ukraine, that Russia started the war on February 24th, 2022. They're refusing to acknowledge that fact. Russia has infiltrated our government. Russia has infiltrated our government.
It is truly amazing how blind the liberal mind can be sometimes. Okay, there's reasons why the Russian state media was in there, if you really think about it. People are looking at it like, oh, Trump just wants these rare minerals because he wants money back from Ukraine. No. The States having a deal like that with Ukraine puts United States interest in Ukraine in a legitimate way, which gives more of an issue for Putin to actually attack Ukraine, because he's kind of attacking Ukraine and US at the same time in that sense. Zelenskyy really blew it. Now, the Russian state media was in there intentionally, so Putin can actually see what was going on, and Putin would be like more like, it's not going to be easy for me to attack Ukraine now if the United States is over there. Trump has always had the theory of keep your friends close, but keep your enemies even closer. Yet the liberals like to flip that and, oh, Trump's a Russian asset and yada, yada, yada. That's not at all what's going on here. At this point, Trump has skipped right past 4D and he's playing 5D chess. A lot of people on the left think, oh, Trump is insane. He doesn't really know what's going on. He's got no clue as what he's doing. Yeah, he knows what he's doing. Trump is always several steps ahead. This is why things always end up working out for him in the end. I don't see how people just can't figure this out at this point. All right, guys, as usual, I have one more clip for you. I'm switching it up again. I'm going to throw you guys a clip of another base individual. Check out the DrunkPinata live show. I've left the links in the comment section for a little bit now. It's a really cool show. I suggest you guys check it out. Like, comment, subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll see you guys very shortly on the next one.
This video is for the people who say they stand with Ukraine. Zelenskyy uses Ukraine's Department of Justice to shut down any opposing parties, like people from different political parties with opposing views, to shut them down. He's been doing this since 2022. He also bans the TV networks, outright bans them if they have opposing views as well. And his political party now owns and controls all the media through the TV. Unless they're talking positive about him, they're gone. Then his term ended May 20th last year. He called a state of emergency to allow himself to stay in power. Martial law to stay in power. Now that's a bit of a dictatorship there. And if he wanted to have a gay marriage in the Ukraine, straight to jail. So Anthony Albanese, if he wants to get married to good old gay Daniel Andrews, a former Premier of Victoria, they'd be in a bit of trouble. So that's human rights violation. Then you've got vans that go around Ukraine, all the major cities and the towns, where they just rock up, kidnap guys off the street, drag them screaming into the vans, and everyone knows that they're being taken to the front line to the war. Everyone in Ukraine, especially the soldiers, have had enough of the war. They want it to stop. But Zelenskyy wants it to keep going because that means money comes in. And he owns a $35 million home in Florida. He has $1.2 billion in offshore bank accounts and owns 35 houses around the world. So where's all this money being spent that's being sent to Ukraine from all the countries? Everyone's being scammed. Do your research. Stop going, oh, yeah, I'm with Ukraine because it's popular. Look into where the money's going. This is a war that's funding the pockets of fuckwits, yeah? And the people that go along with it, you sheep. You don't, I watch the news. Please, wake up.